being disrupted, it's it's not a good feeling when you're trying to be happy and something comes along. It's not, I know it's not mine to make you feel comfortable, to move you to a certain agenda, to push a certain thing or a certain message that it was done upon me. It wasn't, I didn't say it. Well, I did ask for the truth, the whole truth. But that this burden of trying to tell this to or express this to everyone else, it puts me in the place of being an apostle or a disciple to reveal the good and the ugly, the bad and the ugly. That burden, including how I felt to be Christ, to reveal the truth no matter how harsh or negative it may be perceived. And to know why I'm feeling this, to know that the average, so many individuals, I don't want to just say the average individual, but so many eternal beings yearn just to be in eternal relief and pureness forever, eternally. How do I say eternal? But I'm just emphasizing that yearning for help. Or, like I said, it could be something influencing me, just like it influenced them. And being that it was not all negative, even for the disciples or for anyone who are moved by so-called God, it's not always nice. You can even say it was not by just a good spirit. It's by a benevolent spirit. But it's to expose the whole truth. When you read the Bible, any religious doctrine, they are trying to, it's revealing the truth through the conduits, through the vessels that they're channeling from, to show you the whole truth. Even if it sounds condemning and then contradicting, it shows the dynamic in that, the duality in it. So we encourage you to critical think, encourage you to seek knowledge elsewhere, to tie in the dots. That's what also Christ consciousness or high levels of consciousness invokes you to do. To seek the whole truth through the shadow and through the light. Which is probably why God or any being, deity or whatever, powers that be, the universe, whatever, allows certain attacks to show you the relevance of it all, and to ultimately reveal and showcase, or what I call it, validate why certain things must take place to cleanse it or to wipe it out, whichever one you want to use. There's more of a reason why it should happen. Maybe like they say, sometimes bad or uncomfortable situations arise to reveal or bring you closer to an award of some type, or reward, or the blessings or fortune. Why it must happen like that, I do not know, but or maybe because how this world was created, it has to be done like that. Because it was the duality was used or created, which is probably how it has to happen. I mean, it shouldn't, but hey, I feel like I hate to be perceived, but at the same time, I have to learn how to not care about how people perceive me. But I feel like I'm just losing it sometimes, or just being crazy. I know it's just me feeling strongly of something that is trying to move me and provoke me or irritate me, because they're also feeling like that. Usually when this stuff happens, it's usually because they're feeling like this. Like, I wouldn't think a happy person or person who is satisfied will try to disrupt someone else's joy or someone else's tranquil state. A person will only do that if they're not happy with themselves, or they get someone else that invokes or can do it to invoke that on another, because the client is not happy. And if it is invoked from a third person, are they in a happy state themselves? I wouldn't think not, especially if they're valuing the resources, or valuing what they're obtaining for said job or task over their values, over knowing that they're causing disruption to another person. But like I said, they're probably looking at what potentially blessings they could help that person stumble upon, I guess. And they're just me being optimistic. But that doesn't mean that they're doing it for someone else's beneficial growth. Sometimes they're just doing it for their own benefit, or to obtain said rewards. They can care less if the person they're impacting negatively receive their blessing towards the end of the ordeal or tower moment. All of this is happening, or for whatever the reasons may be. This is why I always propose to wipe, because not always. I try to look at things in an optimistic point of view, but it's very apparent that the wipe out will be more sufficient and practical. It just makes sense, perfect sense, and not to create again and just place the spirits in their own little bubble so they can create their own little world within their bubble and not interfere with anyone else's peace of mind. In their little world, they can create themselves however they feel, and the work can operate however they want it to. Now, what I'm hoping that it just no one has that ability to where they could collide their worlds with others deliberately just to disrupt it. I'm hoping that isn't a factor or possibility. Now, that could be why, like, what I call it, not propaganda shifts, probability shifts. that could be a theory. That could be the reasons as to how they're able to manipulate in some ways, others. But your auric field, like they say, just got to be strong enough to resist their collision, just to disrupt your world. But I'm hoping that when the wipe happens, that they make sure that no one's auric fields or world fields could collide with other realms or other world fields, or anyone has that ability to do that, or don't grant anyone that ability to forcefully collide into another person's world, unless they're inviting them to. So I have to answer or ask myself, have I invited certain entities, beings, gods in my auric field to alter it and disrupt it, or what I perceive it as disruption, or is it that this is still operating in the current universal laws, where they have the ability to still disrupt someone else's world, or enter into another person's auric field to disrupt, to alter, or try to alter their being. Okay? But hopefully with this solar flare cleanse, it will wipe out the old world and to operate from the formless internal beings that we are, and to establish a new law where there is no way of collision except through permission. And if later on their worlds uniting no longer works for them, they have the opportunity or the chances to separate completely. And I'm thinking that's probably why I'm getting somewhat of attack, because first it's confirming what I'm thinking is right. It's the right thing to do, number one. And number two, it's pushing and manifesting for this new way of operation, where everyone have an opportunity to feel internally relieved, and in a pure state of mind, or a pure state, period. So when they're in their individual auric bubbles, there is no way of entry by force or invasion. So that's what's going to happen. Is a deliberate shift and wipe out, like a total cleanse, total wipe out. So each internal being has the opportunity, equal opportunity, to create the perfect realm resonating with their self. So if your realm is still going to be crystallized into a physical plane, it will align precisely where you want it So every internal being can have a satisfactory experience or experiences. So it's me going on and on, but that's my speculation. That's why the wipe is beneficial. So the shift can happen, activating proper DNAs needed for a clean slate. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it at that.